usually we do.
Oh, I've never done that before. We can if you want. I mean, if you don't care that it's recording it.
Yeah, it started already.
Oh, it started? Oh, okay, I thought maybe beforehand.
Yeah.
So
Sorry,
we
I
can
clicked
bypass
the button
it.
like right after before
you're
you
totally
said that.
good. You're totally good. Awesome. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. So what I did is I'm on both computers in my house right now. So I have everything on my screens. But what we wanted to do first is what we're supposed to do is to take turns talking about the points that we identified after watching the video of the therapy session, which I thought was very, very good. It was a good process. So some things that were more obvious to you guys. What were some points that you identified that were more obvious that goes along with what we've been learning in class?
I really liked how, I guess I'll just start since I just kind of like jumped in. But I really liked how he kept repeating what they had to say, just to like make it clear. Like he opened up with a good he just created a good communication. What's the word I'm looking for? He just opened the communication window for the entire family and for him as well. And he kind of just kept repeating everything that they were saying. He's like, okay, so this is what I'm getting from you. And then he would repeat it back to them so that he was kind of letting them know that he was listening to them. And he was hearing what they had to say. And I think that that was a really good example of just like what we can do, what we should be doing when we're trying to communicate with someone is definitely be listening to what they have to say. And then when they say something to us, then we can kind of repeat back to them, okay, this is what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Is this right? Is this correct? So I noticed that. I really liked that.
I like that. And he kind of took they took the emotions out of, like they'd be a little bit bitter inside, and he would kind of take that out, the bitterness out, but still acknowledge their feeling. Like, oh, definitely understand. That would be frustrating, but kind of soften the blow so the other person wouldn't feel attacked. I thought that was good.
Yeah. I think, so for me, I'm taking a communications class, a marriage class, a parenting class, a family strengthening. So I get all of these theories and everything kind of mixed together. But one thing that I really liked was also that that was the first thing that came to my mind was that he validated their feelings over and over again throughout the entire session. And then I also really liked that he was able to, I guess, kind of just draw out the feelings from other people. I guess so the other person
wouldn't feel attacked.
Yeah. And so he really helped them to, I don't know, I think starting out the conversation, it wasn't like a harsh, hey, why are you here? What's going on? What's the problem? It was like, one thing that I really like what you're doing in your life, and those kinds of things. So here we knew that the boy liked skate parks, and I'm sure as like a therapist, you get an idea of the kind of people that are going to be in that area. And from there, he was able to kind of figure out the rest of the feelings. Like when he got to know.
Sorry, hold on just a sec. Do you guys hear the echo?
Yes.
Okay.
I hear so many people laughing at the same time.
Okay, wait, hold on. 1 second. Let's just let it go for a second.
What you're doing in your life, and those kinds of things. So for me, it was like skate parks, and
oh no. Okay. Okay, I have an idea. This has happened to me before. Everybody just have one browser open on Google. Just have one browser open on Google. So close out of everything that you have open.
That is it forming on my nose and it hurts.
Would it
Okay.
help if we had the microphones muted, just if we're
I
not?
think I think just having one person talk at a time will help, and having everybody else's microphones muted. I think that's a way good idea. Yeah, let's do that. And then did you guys close out of your Google, your other accounts that you have, or stuff that you have open? Yeah? Okay. Okay, so Alex, do you want to, or Alexandra, do you want to kind of go back and kind of like say a little bit more of what you were saying? Just so that way we can get it without all the other voices going over it. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. And when I'm done talking, I will go get headphones just in case so that
Okay.
voices don't come back through my microphone and do that again.
Okay, cool.
So my main point of it all was just I like that he got to know everyone first, so that it wasn't a harsh let's talk about the issue, let's talk about the problem at hand. And so I think that relates to our class in many ways, because when we're going through stressful times and we're trying to cope with things, we can't just abruptly bring it up and kind of make it feel attacking. Because for me, if I feel like I'm being attacked, then I shut down and I can't talk about it. So I like that he took the time to get to know them, get to know their feelings and all that. And he didn't ask them, "Are you nervous to be here?" He didn't ask that till the very end. So he was like, "What were your feelings about coming?" So I like that he took the time to help them feel comfortable, and then they started diving into the further problem.
Wonderful. That was awesome. There was a big delay. I don't know if everybody else saw that as well, but we're rolling with it. One thing that I really loved also that he brought up is he asked what brings them closer, like what did they used to do? Because they all talked about like, oh, it used to be good, it used to be good, it used to be good. But he's like, well, what did you used to do? And he brought up camping. And I think that that's really important for us as we're talking to people or in our individual lives to think of what brings us the happiness and then kind of go from there. Anyone else comments on this question? We're rolling with it. One thing that I really loved also that he brought up
Could you restate the question again, Coral?
I just asked if anyone else had anything else that was obvious that stood out to them. And then we can go into the minor things, the things that were a little bit more subtle that we could pick up on to help each other.
Can anybody hear me right now?
We're rolling with it.
Okay, good, because I am like...
One thing that I really loved also that he brought up...
Oh my gosh, this is so confusing. Like, I'm trying to write really fast because there's like so many people. It seems like this thing is like whacked out right now, and I'm trying to like write, like type so fast.
Restate the question again, Coral.
Oh my gosh. Ah! This is crazy.
I just asked if anyone else had anything else that was obvious that stood out to them. And then we can go into the minor things, the things that were a little bit more subtle that we could pick up on to help each other.
Okay, let me... Can anybody hear me right now? Okay, good, because I am...
One thing that I really loved also
Oh my gosh. This is nuts. Oh my gosh, this is so confusing. Like, I'm trying to write really fast because there's like so many people. It seems like this thing is like whacked out right now.
Do you want to try and redo the call?
Oh my gosh. Ah! This is crazy.
I just asked if anyone else had anything else that was obvious that stood out to them. And then we can go into the minor things, the things that were a little bit more subtle that we could pick up on to help each other.
Okay, let me... Can anybody hear me right now? Okay, good, because I am...
really loved also
Oh my gosh. This is nuts. Oh my gosh, this is so confusing. Like, I'm trying to write really fast because there's like so many people. It seems like this thing is like whacked out right
Do you want to try and redo the call?
I think we have the first one down. I wrote everything down already that all you guys already said in the beginning. Yeah, I already wrote all my stuff down. It's like the same as what you guys wrote down.
Okay, maybe, Stephanie, mute your microphone.
Okay.
Okay, it stopped. I don't know why it did that. I just noticed that when she unmuted it is when it did that, but I don't know why. I have no idea why it's doing this. This is really weird.
Maybe you could just be quiet and just write. I'm just kidding. Totally kidding.
I don't know what to do. Oh, shoot. Do we want to just talk anyways and just kind of just talk anyways?
I can't see it.
I can't see anything. That's hilarious. It might just be her computer setup or something, because
It
if we're
might
not
be
hearing
her
it when anyone else is talking.
Yeah, yeah.
And we
Can
feel
you-
like
because
you're doing your part.
I see that there's like the add invite people up at the top. Like, Stephanie, do you want to hang up and then we call Stephanie back?
Yeah, we could do that. That's a good idea.
Okay, we should probably try that because I
Wait,
think
where's
it's
the
yeah.
add invite thing at the top? Oh, right there. Okay, we're
Up at the
good. Yeah,
top.
let's try that again. Let's do that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So it's just going to take me a few seconds because I have to reopen my email so that I can have her email.
Okay.
That was so weird. I wonder why that happened. I have had that happen in groups before, though, and so...
I've never had that happen.
Really? Yeah, that's happened to me before. And it was just because some weird glitch in their computer or whatever. Okay. Okay. Nope. 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 Wrong email. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay.
Can someone else add her, or does it have to be you?
It has to be me. It's just being really slow.
Oh, okay, because I can pull up the email with her email if you need it.
Hey, do that. That's a great idea because it's not letting me look at her email for some stupid
Okay, so let me see here. Let me look at all of our
Wait,
emails.
she just joined the call. She just joined it.
Oh, yay. Okay.
All right. You know what I think it was?
What?
I think it was my computer the whole time.
Oh no.
Can you guys hear me okay now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I think I had two browsers open, and I didn't realize that, and I thought I shut them all down, but for some reason I guess there was two of these sessions going on at the same time.
Oh, no.
And so it totally screwed the whole thing up, so it's like, sorry.
Oh no, you're
We
totally
forgive you.
It's okay.
I've been on so many of these. I don't even know how that happened. That was crazy. I think my mind is like gonna blow up right now. I'm like, my husband came home. He's like, "What is going on with your group?" They're crazy. They're all crazy over there. I don't know. Just joking.
No, you're totally fine. Don't even worry. It's fine. Okay, so okay, so you were trying to type. Sorry, we should talk slower for your sake. To help you. I feel so bad. Like I didn't even realize. I was just like, oh yeah, just talking.
No, I mean, I was writing everything down what I could get because since there was two browsers open, it was really nuts. But I already had like a lot of that stuff that I already wrote down before I came, to the session. So I think I already had like a lot of that stuff. I'll tell you what I put, and I can also send this out to you guys before I submit it in case you guys want to, if you want me to add anything or whatever to it.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
And Alexandra is the one that's submitting the stuff, so I'll send the link, the YouTube link, to you.
Okay, cool.
Perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and go on to the second one, where it says, note the trends of your findings as a group. Did everyone identify the same points, or were there points that not everyone caught on? So I feel like it's kind of similar to the first question, but more trends, like what is the patterns that we're seeing in their lives. And so one thing that I thought was unique is that we were able to see how the father and son responded similar, and the mother and the daughter responded similar. And I found that as a trend, and that they can have something unique together, and you can build off of that. So it's not all hope is lost. There's much hope with that.
Right. Yeah, I really liked that too. I liked how he identified the common interests that each family member had with everybody else, and how since he identified that, it kind of like, I feel like it brought the family together, and now that they'll be able to kind of go forward and plan and have a family plan of, hey, let's do this because it relates to this person's interest and this person's interest, and then next time we could do something fun that relates to the other people's interests. And I like that he said, okay, mom and dad, go on a date, you go do your, planning together, identify the things that you want to do together, and then, brother and sister go and, have fun together as well. Like, it was just kind of interesting how he connected the family, and it was in a completely non-threatening way, which I really liked. So
I really like I felt like it was a type of trend that happens often, is that there's always an underlying feeling of care for someone else generally. Generally, when a family goes in and they need help, it's not because they hate each other or they're so upset with each other. But like the sister, she really cared about her brother. She loved her brother. She didn't want to be a tattletale and get him in trouble. But she really did care about him. The mom, she would yell at him and get angry at him. But really, it was out of love. It was out of like mom having panic attacks, worrying for her child. And so I think that's something that happens often, where the underlying factor really is that you're concerned about the other one. I think in like a lot of our case studies, we've seen that when somebody's frustrated with another person, it's because they want love or they want care, or it's because if they outlash, it's because they care about the person. They want the person like to do the right thing so that they can show them like, I love you, I care about you, stop it. And so the real underlying factor is love and concern, but the way that we vocalize it, or like the son would leave because he wanted to be loved, the mom would get mad because she just wanted him to be safe. And I think that happens often.
Yeah, it's like the same thing goes for the mom. Like, she really loved her son, but she really did it in a confusing way, and the son didn't understand it. He felt like she didn't love him, but he really cared for her, and she cared for him. So it went both ways. Like, he didn't feel that nobody loved him, which wasn't true at all. Like, they really did love him, and he loves them, but it was just a hard way of her saying that she loved him was by yelling at him. That's how she came across, and I guess it was hard for her because she said like when she would get back at night, or when he would get back at night, it would be so late, and then she would get, she was obviously, yeah, like you said, frustrated, and it just came across her loving way. It wasn't very loving. So I don't think I'd want to be there either if somebody was yelling at me the whole time either. So, yeah.
I really like what you had to say about that, Stephanie, because it's like kind of like the communication thing where you can get mixed communication signals, kind of like what we've been talking about in our class, and how important it is to have like an open relay of communication between people. Because I mean, especially when it comes to body language, like one thing that he noticed was right when they came in was their body language, and how they were just closed off and not really sure of themselves, especially the son. And I think that's part of reason why maybe there's miscommunication and like what happened with the mother and son is because, I mean, yeah, like if you're yelling at your kid, they're going to be intimidated and they're going to think that you hate them. I mean, it makes them scared, you know, and so it's definitely, you have to learn those boundaries of how to communicate with certain people, because some people receive communication differently than others. So
Yeah, when they get intimidated, they're going to shut down, you know, so then they won't express their feelings. So if you want them to express their feelings, you should make them feel comfortable. So.
But at the same time, I also think that there's a responsibility of each child and each member of the family. And so she was attacking him, but yet he was shutting down. And so both of those things together weren't working. So there's much that he has to do. He's got to tell his family where he is, like obviously. And so he has to start opening up in that way. But it's just like this domino effect. And so and each person had a role in that, in their family. And as I was watching it, I thought it was interesting because I couldn't tell what the sister was thinking. The whole time, like, she just looked mad. Like, she didn't look like she was absorbing anything. But at the end, when he asked, he was like, okay, so what are you going to take away from this from each person? I was like, wow, she was actually listening, and, like, she's actually progressing as well. And I wasn't sure from her body language.
Yeah, I felt like that, too. Because I know it seemed like she was just folding her arms the whole time, and it didn't look like she really wanted to be there. It kind of, to me, it was kind of like she was like a little, I don't know, like a little tattletailer, you know, like a little snitch. Kind of like, yeah, I'm going to stick with my mom because, I mean, I understand she's really concerned about her brother, obviously. And I felt like she shouldn't be caught in the middle of it all either. Like, it's not fair for her because she's a kid, and I don't feel like I can understand that she's feeling like she wants her brother to be safe and everything, but she got herself caught in the middle between her mom and the brother, and I don't think that's fair because I've had that happen in my family, and it is not fun at all to be stuck in the middle, and then the brother, like, she couldn't get close to her brother because she was just like the mom, and he didn't want to get close to the mom, so why would he want to get close to her? So, and open up to her.
Yep, that makes complete sense. I like that. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. One more trend that I kind of wanted to mention really fast was I thought it was interesting how the father kind of mentioned that his parents weren't very involved in his life. And I thought that that was something that happens quite often where you see parents who either their parents weren't involved and they kind of got in trouble and now they're a little bit overprotective, or there's those parents that their parents were involved and they turned out fine. So, you know, why do they have to be extremely involved in their children's lives? Because generally their children are going to be fine because they turned out fine. They turned out okay. So I thought that was also another interesting trend that happens often.
Yeah, and the dad wasn't home very often either because he felt that that was normal because that's how he was raised. And so if he couldn't be home with his son, and I don't think he realized what that influence was on his son because he was following in his parents' footsteps. So it's no good.
I want to watch the follow-up next week to see what happens to them and see the growth that they've made. We can't just leave it on that note. But one thing that I was just going to bring up is the reading for the chapter 6 that she said to like split screen it, but I guess you guys can't because that'll make it really confusing. But there was a table on page 133. I don't know if you downloaded it or not and saved it to your computer or have it printed out. But it talks about the belief systems, the organization patterns, and the communication process and the clarity. And I really liked that table, because those things that are listed there, I feel like that was demonstrated in the session with the family. And it just makes me think of more logically when I'm trying to deal with issues or different things in my own family, or in just helping others understand theirs, is just going in that order and making sense out of the real problem rather than dealing with the emotions. And so that's on page 133. I don't know if you want to add that to the notes, or I don't even know how many notes we need to be having, but I just copied and pasted it on a Word document because I thought, oh, that's a good table to go off of. Does anybody else have any comments on that or any of the other readings that apply to the session? That's totally fine, because I know you guys can't pull it up right now, so I'm not trying to put anyone on the spot. I just thought I'd bring that in. So talk about your observations. Was anyone surprised by their findings or observations? I was actually kind of surprised when the son was like, I've never done any drugs. Like, and he seemed pretty sincere. And I don't know if he's a really good liar or if he really is sincere, but he really, like, his mind and his heart seemed like, I'm doing what's right. I'm just going out late, you know, and I'm around people that do it, but I don't. And so, I don't know, that caught me by surprise, and I think that was a good eye-opener for the family as well.
I think that he really wants his family to trust him, and in order to do that, like, but it goes both ways. If he wants them to trust him, then he should be responding. He should be like, hey, Mom, I'm doing this right now. Just like a quick, you know, like, I'll be home in like an hour. I'm running late. I'll be home in like 30 minutes, an hour. You know, so that's where it's kind of like, if he wants to trust, then he needs to, you know, reciprocate it. Like, he needs to go, you know, back and forth so that they actually do trust him. And I was kind of surprised, because I thought that maybe he really was doing drugs, but because that's what it seemed like, but obviously not.
Everything you guys just said was exactly what I had written down. But it surprised me, it honestly was, and everything you guys just said was exactly on my mind, so I completely agree with you.
I think something that kind of, I guess it didn't surprise me so much, but I liked that the mom, like, admitted kind of full-heartedly that she yelled and she kind of lost control. Because I'm not usually one to quickly admit, like, my faults, and I'm usually one to kind of justify myself and be like, no, but they did it wrong, you know, and but that, I don't know if it surprised me, but I did like that kind of pleasant surprise, I guess, that she was willing to admit, hey, I've lost my temper sometimes, and I kind of go crazy because I get so nervous. So that was just another kind of out of the blue thing.
I think each of them opened up really well and admitted their faults, because that's how you really get to the source. If we're not honest about how we were really feeling, then we're never going to be able to get to the source. And I think that's important to take away from this too, that we have to admit our faults, because that's how we grow. Perfect. I think discuss and recorded. Okay, so it says discuss and record how a treatment professional or a paraprofessional might prepare to capitalize on such opportunities to introduce or reinforce the types of resiliency factors from the Walsh's article. That seems rather wordy to me, but
I was going to say the exact same thing. I was like, that's a really long question.
I was like, I don't think I understand that.
Let's take it part by part with all those big words.
Yeah. So discuss and record how treatment professional might prepare for an opportunity. So in my interpretation of it is, how might we learn from this scenario how to help others, like in a professional setting?
I think kind of like the first thing that comes to mind, just like from what you said, is just kind of looking at how in the video how he handled the family coming into the room. Like, he opened himself and he opened the door for just being comfortable. I mean, he created a comfortable atmosphere, just getting to know them, and then just being, I mean, he was just kind and gentle and soft-spoken. I think that was one thing that really is important, is that you're soft-spoken and you're listening and you're paying attention. And I think that's one really important, just creating a soft and gentle atmosphere that is, I guess you could say, almost conducive for the spirit, but like in a way that will be a place of safety for the people that are involved in the session, I guess you could say, so that they feel safe and that they can open up. So I think that was important.
I think next to that in importance was the validation. I think that if he wasn't validating their feelings and he kept saying, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, or stop me if I'm kind of out of place, but the validating of those feelings, I think, is so important. And I don't think we would have gotten half of the information out of each member of the family if he wasn't able to validate their feelings by repeating back to them, okay, so in your words, this is what's happening, or this is how you're feeling. And most of the time, the majority, he was spot on to how they were feeling, but they needed to feel and understand, okay, I guess he really does know how I feel. He really is getting to the source. And so that way he was able to kind of make these connections, you know, and how he switched seats and kind of brought them together. I just like every little aspect of how he handled the whole situation. He didn't make it a serious, down, like hard thing for them, but he made it, again, his soft spirit really helped out the whole atmosphere of the session.
I like how he said, he was like, well, it might be a dorky thing, but, you know, come on saying that over and over again. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so funny. But I think that it kind of lightened up the situation, you know, and he made it so it wasn't so like, what's the word? So, I don't know, like you were saying, he made it just comfortable and made it so it's kind of, it wasn't like a, I can't figure the word to say, but it wasn't like a, whatever. But you guys know what I'm talking about. It was just really, it was more like, more just funny, I thought. I was like, that does sound kind of dorky, but he's funny, you know, and he kind of lightened the situation. So there, yeah, I thought he was a good therapist, and he would make me feel comfortable if I was in that setting. And I told my husband too, because he was listening to some of it, and I was like, I could do this. I could be a therapist. Like, you know, it's just like validating the feelings over and over again. So how does that make you feel? When da 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 da, you know, it seems pretty easy, but I'm sure like coming up with the end result though, that would be a little bit tricky for me. Like, I guess, and then he said too that no two families are alike, you know, so it's and they know what's best for their family. So I thought that was, you know, because he gave them some things to do, but he said, no, but you guys know best, and it's your family, so, you know, you guys are going to be the ones that ultimately decide where this is going to go, you know, type of thing. So
I really like that too. And I think one thing that you were trying to find the word for, but what my filler of that word was, he wasn't judgmental with it. He was just a happy guy, and he wasn't judging them, and so they could open up. And then also he was he even said, like, oh, in my family we have our own things too, you know, so it wasn't just like, oh, you're here with all the problems. Let's talk about you. It was just more like, okay, yeah. And when he did validate the feeling, he's like, correct me if I'm wrong. That's what he said every time. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that's important to do too, because sometimes we do hear it a little bit differently, and you want to make sure that you hear it right. And then that was going exactly through. So I thought it was a great session too. Good. So it talks about anything you guys, it says again, to reinforce the types of resiliency factors from Walsh's article. And so just that article that we were supposed to read in the core principles for strengthening just all the relationships and everything. So is there any other comments that you guys wanted to add to that? One thing that I have it up right now, and it says reducing negative chain reactions that heighten risk for sustaining impact and further crises. Hello! How cute. She's cute. I'm surprised my kids haven't come up. But it says to buffer stress effects, cushioning the impact, and overcoming obstacles, alternating coping strategies, withstanding aftershocks, prolonged strains, and rebounding from setbacks. And I think with this family, like, he really is trying to move forward with them and to give them the hope and talk about the good times with camping and different things that they can do. Go out and get a soda for the brother and sister. Like, all those things are coping strategies that will help them and actually strengthen them in the end. And so even though they don't want to open up to each other yet, but you find that common interest and you find that hope and that light in their eyes, and then from there build on that. And I think that that was really good, and all their homework was really, really good things for them to do. It was definitely applicable. I thought he was going to forget about the girl, and I was kind of sad, like, she needs something to do because she is like, I don't know, she was like a bump on a log in my mind. And so I was just like, so when he gave her an assignment to hang out with her brother, I think she was really excited. I think that was the first time that I saw like any emotion on her face of excitement. I think she genuinely did miss her brother. And but you wouldn't know that until you dissected it and like tore it apart, because you just think that she was just this bitter girl. But really, she did. She had love in her heart.
Something that, sorry, can you hear me? Okay, Carl? And are you good? Okay, my screens are like frozen, so I can hear you, but I can't see you very well. So one thing that I liked from the reading was it talked about kind of identifying, I think it was identifying, affirming, and building, like from the family strengths. And it talked about like crediting the positive things that you try to do. So I think that I don't know, I think it's a good coping strategy to like validate the positive things that people are trying to do. So he helped like the mom feel good about being concerned about her son. Like, that's a very good thing for her to do. It's a good thing that her husband, or he has trust in his son a little bit more, and he validated that it's really good that the daughter has love enough for her brother to be so concerned about him. So I think that that's really an effective strategy that Walsh talks about, is like affirming the good things that people are trying to do, even if the approach to it may not come out right, but your intention is good. And so I think that's something that I kind of connected and liked.
I like that. And even for the boy, he kept saying it towards the end, like, and he is changing. This is a change for him, and he will never be the same, because he's getting older. And I think that's important to note too, because it's not just like, hey, get it back together, get back on track. But no, yeah, you're kind of a little bit derailed because you're gonna own your own, you're gonna have your own path going on. So I think that was really, really good. Awesome. Any other thoughts or comments?
Stephanie, how are you doing in taking notes? Are you okay?
I'm okay. The beginning was kind of rough, I'll tell you what. But now I think I got everything. I'm just going to have to piece it all together, and then I'll send it out. And wait, who's submitting it? Am I submitting it all?
Alexandra is.
Who?
Alexandra.
Alexandra, okay. Okay, and then I wanted to get everybody's last names too, so I can. Okay, so let's see. What's your last name, Alexandra?
Davila, Davila.
Okay, and then Caitlin. What's your last name, Caitlin?
Oh, Caitlin isn't a part of it. She's in a different video, so she's not in on our group. Yeah.
Okay, so whoops. Okay, so so it's me, Coral, Alexandra, Elizabeth. Is that it? Just 4?
Yeah, there's just 4 of us, and then also my last name is Bischoff. That's my married name, and I haven't changed it on Google yet.
Okay.
So put Bischoff on there so that way they actually know who it is.
Okay, how do you spell it?
Before.
Okay, and how do you spell it?
B as in boy, Ischhoff.
Okay, got it. Oh, so that's why it was on the email. Keenan Bischoff.
Yeah, it's Elizabeth Keenan. That's my maiden name.
Cool. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so I will piece this all together, and then I'll send it to Alexandra. And then I guess you'll just submit it. So
Yeah.
okay, awesome, cool, very cool. Sounds good. Should I send this out to everybody so you guys can look it over, or do you care? I don't know. You don't. Doesn't matter.
I
I'm
trust you.
good. I don't need to see it.
Is this all we had to talk about? I kind of just remembered like to just kind of like make sure she was okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's all it looked like anyway. Just copied the questions down, and then I'm pretty sure that's it. I think
So
we covered it all.
I know. I think we kind of did. But it also says like to use the first 45 minutes for all the discussion and the last 15 to like make sure that you have like all the writing part done.
Okay.
So I don't know if she's going to look at the length of the video because we're already at 45 minutes. So I don't know if we could just sign off and then if you have any questions you can email us or I don't know. What do you guys think?
Sounds good to me.
I don't know. If you want, you could like. I don't know. How about why don't we have you just kind of like
I'll just
read back the main points to us that you got? Why
okay.
don't we do that?
Let's see. So the first question I put kept repeating what they. Okay, so obviously I just have pieces of stuff, so it's gonna sound better once I,
You're fine. You're totally fine.
So I kept repeating what they had to say. Great communication, reaffirming what the family had to say over and over again. Always be listening and understanding what's being said. Took emotions out, but still acknowledged feelings so that the other person wouldn't feel attacked. Attacked. I put attached. Okay, hold on. Okay, validated feelings over and over again. Talked about the issue at hand. He took the time to know the family first and help them feel comfortable. Now, was that everything? Did I miss anything for the first one? Because it was ridiculous that first part. So.
No, you're good. I think it's good. Yeah, that sounds great. It sounds good.
Okay, and then let's see the trends. Let's see. I put see how the father and son responded similar, and the wait. Okay, I rewrote that. That was weird. Okay, so it's how the father and son responded similar, and the mom and the daughter responded similar. They identified the common interest, bringing the family closer, bringing the family together because it relates to them. Planning together, wife. Okay, whatever. This is weird because I was writing so fast. Planning together, wife and husband. Date stuff, I don't know. There is always an underlying feeling of care. The sister really cared about the brother and truly cared about him. When people are frustrated with the other person, they truly love and care about that person. Miscommunication is a big deal, as well as body language. Their body language says a lot as well. If you're yelling at your kid, they are going to be intimidated and shut down. The sister was stuck in the middle, and the brother didn't want to get close to her. He felt like she was telling on him. Father wasn't home that often. It was hard for the son to get close to him because of this. And then I'll put the table diagram on here, page 133. And then let's see, the other one was about surprised feelings, surprised findings or observation. Surprised when the son wasn't into drugs. He wants his parents to trust him. It goes both ways. If he wants to be trusted, he needs to call home and tell his family where he is, be honest and open. Important to get to the source. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. The next one about okay, discuss and record how a treatment. Okay, professional. Okay, they can try and introduce or reinforce types of. Oh wait, no, that's something that I put. You don't know about that. Okay, so I basically wrote down what I think Alexander, who was the person that was moving everybody along with the blonde hair.
Oh, Coral.
Okay, Coral. So I basically wrote down, before we started, I wrote down like basically everything that you had said about like teaching families how to live with uncertainty, like a lot of stuff that was already in the text. Okay, and then I put looking at how the family comes into the room and helping them feel comfortable. He was really soft-spoken and he was really paying attention to them. Atmosphere of safety, validating feelings is very important and repeating back to them. Feel and understand how they feel. Switch seats and help them feel very comfortable. He was non-judgmental and helped them open up. Strengthening relations, and I put some of the coping strategies were helping them move forward, getting a soda, going on a date, car ride with dad and son, helping them feel optimistic. And then somebody said something about identifying, building, creating, validate positives. So did I get that right?
I think that was finding positives in like relationships and in their conversations with each other. I think that's kind of what that was.
Yeah, that one was on page 146 of Walsh's chapter 6.
Wow, you really. Do you like write the page numbers down for
Sorry,
everything?
no, I just kind of snuck it, even though, because I had downloaded it, and so I wasn't sure if I was able to like look at it. So I was like, let me just look at it just to make sure.
So, finding positives in relationships. Is that what you said? Finding positives.
Yeah, so it's finding positives, or it says crediting positive intentions. That's what it is.
Okay. Crediting positive intentions. Got it. Got it. Okay, then that's all I have. So.
That was awesome and thorough. I think you did great.
Yeah, that's awesome. You did a great job. That sounds so good. I'm glad you were able to keep up with us. I'm so sorry about the beginning too. I was like,
that was my fault. That was
going on.
totally my fault. That's never happened. That was crazy. I was like, oh my gosh. That was, I'm gonna have a nightmare tonight. I won't be able to sleep. It's gonna be.
We got through it.
Yeah, we're fine. See, we moved on. We're good. Everything's great.
That's so funny. Okay, so then I will be sending this to Alexandra. I'll just send it to your Gmail account then.
Perfect. Okay.
Cool. And then I'll send you the link as well.
Perfect.
Whoa, what a great group.
Awesome. You did great, guys. That was good. Now everybody go enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes, more homework.
Yeah, stay in here.
Okay, see you guys.
Alrighty, thanks everyone. Bye-bye.